Are you still struggling to navigate the cones despite being a pretty good dribbler of the ball? Well, I feel your struggle. And I'm going to show you how to go from that heavy touch on the second and sometimes fifth cone to mastering the cones once and for all. And between you and I, it's actually quite simple. I'll also throw in some exercises to help you enhance your speed and precision over the ball so that we're all winning together. Let's get into it. So cones are pretty much a staple for any aspiring young footballer, whether it's shooting drills, passing drills, or of course, dribbling drills. There's no way around it. Get it? That was funny.
So feeling uncomfortable every time you see a cone drill being set up through fear of looking silly in front of your teammates?
Well, now's the time to address that once and for all. And it starts with one simple and crucial step. If you're going to make a mistake on the cones, then 9 times out of 10, it's this cone. That's the problem. And if you're skilled enough to make it past the second cone, well, then the fifth and the sixth cone will probably be your unraveling. And there's a couple of reasons for that. And before we get to that one, let's first talk about cone 2. So the reason why the second cone is often the culprit for many players is down to speed. Typically when you are completing this type of exercise, it starts with a little bit of a run up as you approach the cone. So you're going from a straight run up to a dribble side to side throughout each of these cones. And if you don't adjust your speed accordingly, then the likelihood of losing control of the ball is very high. And why the second cone is because it's the first cone that you actually fully go around. So hence why that is where a lot of people lose control. So to work on this, you need to focus a lot on that transition between fast and slow. When you're on that straight line speed, the ball is traveling in a forward direction. But to change speed, you are going to have to change direction of the ball.
And you can practice this by first doing it without cones to build consistency and confidence in the transition.
So starting with a little bit of speed and then coming down to that slower, more dribbling pace using the outside and inside of your foot.
Remembering to shift it from side to side with many of those small touches to keep control of the ball whilst moving forwards. Then once you've addressed the speed, as this will solve a lot of your problems, the next step to develop is control.
To have control of the ball is to have it close to you. If it's way out in front, then you're not able to manipulate it around the cones.
So in order to improve your control, set up 2 or 3 cones and practice the approach, going nice and slow, using the inside and outside of your boot to change the ball's direction, keeping it close to your body.
Another great exercise for you to try out is to set up a small box and work on your touch. So using the outside, inside of your foot, as well as the top of your foot, changing direction, getting used to controlling the ball in tight spaces. So now that we've addressed the second cone issue, now the issue is the fifth and sixth cone. And this one's way easier to address. So I got you. The reason these cones tend to be an issue is 2 things, rhythm and focus. Let's first talk about rhythm.
Improving as a footballer with these types of drills is all about repetition. Dribbling through 6 or 7 cones versus 2, whilst it is essentially the same thing, 7 cones is a lot more difficult. And that's because repeating the same move back to back requires a certain sense of rhythm. As you can see, my body was moving the same with each cone. There was that repetition. But also the sound of my foot making contact with the ball has a sense of rhythm to it. And to establish that rhythm, it's going to take some coordination and a whole bunch of repetition. To begin, first figure out what side of the cones you most feel comfortable approaching from. I find the left slightly easier as it allows me to use the outside of my right foot to instigate the shuttle movement. But there will be times where you need to approach from the right. In that case, I essentially do the same thing but start the movement before I've made it to the first cone. It's all about finding what best works for you. Then I encourage you to try many variations to cover all areas of your ball control.
And lastly, focus. In order to really excel at a lot of these points, it's going to take some mental clarity and for you to get your head in the game. So I've developed a 10-minute warm-up routine that you can do before you actually get your foot on the ball. There's no equipment whatsoever, and it's a great way to really warm up before you actually start your training session. So enjoy it. is good.